If you're watching this video, you probably already got two browser tabs open on your computer right now. One says Celina, the other says Princeton, and you're trying to figure out which one of these cities is actually the right move for your family, not just which one looks prettiest in a drone shot on Instagram. And honestly, the fact that you're even comparing these two cities instead of just chasing the cheapest price point puts you ahead of so many buyers in this market today, because the families who get this wrong, they're not dumb, they just don't know what questions to ask before they sign on the bottom line. I'm Luke Jones. I have helped dozens of families relocate into these exact suburbs, and I have lived this experience myself. I relocated my family to Windsong Ranch and Prosper, which is right between both of these markets. So I'm not guessing when I talk about drive time or schools. I actually lived this experience. Now, here's the thing that no one tells you. Celina and Princeton get lumped together in every fastest growing city headline like they're interchangeable. Let me tell you, they are absolutely not. One of these cities is built around a small town, tight-knit school district with land and space, while the other is built around affordability and speed, getting a family into a home fast in a district that's scaling almost overnight to keep up. And if you pick the wrong one based on headlines instead of what actually fits your family, you could end up commuting further in a bigger district than you want it to be, or paying more than you actually need to. So in this video, I'm breaking down Celina versus Princeton the way that I would break it down for my own sister if she were moving here with kids. We're talking the schools, the lifestyle, the commute, and who each city is actually built for. And stick around to the end, because later in this video, I'm gonna give you a link to my free Celina versus Princeton family relocation scorecard so you can score your own family against both of these cities before you make a decision. Let's start with the numbers, because they explain everything else about how these two cities actually feel to live in. Celina has been one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. Over the last year of census data, it has grown roughly 25%, adding more than 12,000 new residents in a single year, and it's grown nearly 285% since 2020. Now, Princeton's story is a little bit more dramatic. At one point, it was the fastest growing city in the United States, jumping over 30% in a single year. So it went from about 28,000 residents to over 37,000 residents in a year. And here is what I call the growth ceiling gap. Celina's growth is being driven by families who can actually afford to wait for the infrastructure to catch up, while Princeton's growth is being driven by families who need an affordable entry price point right now. They're both going crazy, but completely different buyers that are driving this growth. Now let's talk about what actually keeps moms up at night when they're relocating, which are the schools. Celina is primarily served by Celina ISD, though parts of the city, including communities like Light Farms, are actually zoned for Prosper Independent School District instead. That's the foundation trap that I see buyers fall into over and over again. You fall in love with the home because it said Celina without doing your homework and confirming what is actually zoned for. Celina ISD itself is small, but it's growing extremely fast. Enrollment has climbed roughly 170% over the last decade, and the district is planning for several new elementary campuses just to keep up with all of this growth. Now, Princeton ISD is a mid-sized suburban district that's scaling extremely fast. It's a completely different feel. It's bigger, a faster growing environment, more economically diverse, and it's building out capacity in real time. Neither one is wrong, but if you want that small school energy where the teachers actually know your kid's name, that points in one direction. And if you want a school district that's growing into more resources and new buildings every single year, that points in the other direction. Now, if you want to see what's actually available right now in either school district, scan the QR code that's on your screen, and I'll send you over a live list of homes that are for sale in Celina and Princeton in your price range. Okay, so that's enough about schools. Let's get back into it and talk about what your actual day-to-day looks like in each one of these cities. Celina still has that small town square, real acreage option in some communities, and master plan neighborhoods like Light Farms and Sutton Fields that are built around walkability, pools, and lifestyle amenities, not just around rooftops. Now, retail is still catching up in this area. Celina just opened its first super Walmart, Costco's is on the way, and a new medical center recently opened after a $250 million investment. It's a city that's still becoming itself, which means that some patience is required, but you're getting in on the ground floor. Now, Princeton's draw is a little bit different. It's affordability without giving up new construction. Median home prices there sit meaningfully below Celina, which is exactly why families that are priced out of Prosper and Frisco are landing there instead. Now, the trade-off is the same as every fast-growing city in the United States. It's the infrastructure, the retail, and the amenities are racing to catch up with the rooftops. Now, Celina is patience, Princeton is access. Neither is better. It depends on what your family can trade off. Now, let's talk about what I call the commute illusion. Celina sits up near Highway 380, and most of its residents are commuting into Frisco and McKinney and Prosper for work. So if your job isn't remote, you can add on some real minutes to your drive time. Princeton sits on the east side, closer to McKinney and the US Highway 380 corridor, with its own commute considerations into the northern job corridors. Neither city is close to downtown Dallas. You're trading off commute time for space, for schools, and a price point that fits your budget in each one of these suburbs. Now, I know some of you have been watching videos like this for weeks, bookmarking, comparing, going back and forth between Celina and Princeton, but you still haven't actually sat down to run your numbers. That's actually what I am here for. If you want a smaller, tight-knit school community and you can stretch your budget just a little bit further, Celina is gonna likely be your fit. If affordability and getting into new construction right now without waiting years for a district or downtown to mature matters most to your family, then Princeton is more likely going to be your fit. And here's the part that matters the most right now. Both of these markets are moving fast enough that the starting price point is expanding quarter over quarter. The home that fits your budget today in either one of these cities may not exist at that same price by next spring. So here's what I want you to do. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code that's on the screen. Grab the free Celina versus Princeton family relocation scorecard. And if you're serious about making this move, go ahead and book a one-on-one consultation with me. I'll bring my mortgage broker onto that call with us. So instead of just guessing, you'll see your actual numbers, your actual monthly payment for your actual situation and whatever city fits your family best. I'll see you guys in Texas. God bless.